Most people know they should eat more fruit. Almost nobody knows what it actually does once it is inside them. So here is what the evidence says fruit by fruit and why the single most common objection to eating it is mostly wrong. Start with the objection because it stops a lot of people before they begin. Fruit contains sugar. This is true. An apple holds around 19 grams of it. But sugar bound inside whole fruit does not behave like sugar poured from a packet, because it arrives wrapped in fiber, water and plant cell walls that your body has to dismantle first. That slows absorption, blunts the rise in blood glucose, and fills you up long before you can overeat it. Large studies that follow people for years keep finding the same pattern. Whole fruit is associated with lower risk of type 2 diabetes, while fruit juice, the same sugar with the fiber removed, is associated with higher risk. The fiber is not a detail. The fiber is the point. Which brings us to what most people are actually short of. Adults are generally advised to eat somewhere between 25 and 30 grams of fiber a day. Most of us manage about half that. Fiber feeds the bacteria in the large intestine, and those bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that help maintain the gut lining and regulate inflammation. You cannot supplement your way around this easily. It comes from plants, and fruit is the easiest plant to eat. Now the fruit itself. Berries are the most nutrient-dense choice for the least sugar. Blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries carry anthocyanins, the pigments that make them dark, and these are among the most studied plant compounds in human trials. Raspberries also carry about 8 grams of fiber per cup, which is more than most breakfast cereals. If you only change one thing, add berries. Citrus is the vitamin C answer, but not for the reason most people think. Vitamin C does not prevent colds in the general population. That has been tested repeatedly and it does not hold. What it does do is act as a required cofactor for building collagen, and it substantially increases the absorption of iron from plant foods. Eat an orange alongside beans or spinach and you will absorb considerably more of the iron in them. Bananas are the potassium fruit, though not the champion. A medium banana carries around 400 milligrams. Potassium works against sodium to help regulate blood pressure, and most people eating a modern diet get far too much sodium and far too little potassium. Green, less ripe bananas also contain resistant starch, which behaves more like fiber than sugar. Avocado is a fruit, botanically, and it outperforms the banana on potassium. It is also mostly monounsaturated fat, the same kind that dominates olive oil, and that fat matters for another reason. Several vitamins, including A, D, E, and K, only dissolve in fat. Add avocado to a salad and you absorb more of the nutrients in everything else on the plate. Kiwi has more vitamin C than an orange, gram for gram, and it has something else. In small controlled trials, people who ate 2 kiwis an hour before bed reported falling asleep faster and waking less. The trials are small, and the effect is not fully explained, so treat that as promising rather than proven. Apples do something simple and underrated. The pectin fiber in an apple forms a gel in the gut, which slows digestion and increases fullness. This is why an apple before a meal reliably reduces how much people eat at that meal, and why apple juice does not. Watermelon is mostly water, which sounds like a criticism and is not. It is an efficient way to rehydrate, and it carries more lycopene than a raw tomato, the compound associated in observational research with cardiovascular benefit. So what does all of this add up to? A large analysis pooling studies covering roughly 2 million people found that risk of heart disease, stroke, and early death kept falling as fruit and vegetable intake rose, with most of the benefit arriving by about 800 grams a day. That is around 10 portions, which is more than most guidelines suggest and far more than most people eat. But the shape of that curve matters more than the number at the end of it. The steepest drop in risk happens at the beginning, going from almost none to some. If you eat no fruit, the first piece is worth more than the 10th. 2 practical notes before you go. Frozen fruit is not inferior. It is picked ripe and frozen within hours, and often retains more vitamin C than fresh fruit that has spent a week in transit. And variety does real work here, because different pigments mean different compounds. Eating 3 colors in a week beats eating 1 color every day. None of this is medical advice, and none of it is a cure for anything. It is a set of associations from large populations, and individual results vary. But the direction of the evidence has been consistent for decades, and it is unusually simple. Eat the whole fruit. Eat a few different kinds. Start with the first one.